can hear Cash and yelling, bring it.
All right. You good? You can turn it, Chris. There you go. All right. This speech is about PTSD. It's an informational speech going over the causes, resources, and assistance for PTSD. Exposure, what I've had is exposure in personal life, professional life as well. Family members with PTSD, professional as well, being a SAFE counselor, sexual assault, family violence investigator course. Go ahead and hit it, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
All right. According to a survey that was done by veterans at PTSD.com, it says veteran suicide rates are as high as 5,000 per year. 1 in 5 service members from OIF and OEF suffer from PTSD. 50% of those with PTSD, both combat related and on the civilian side, never seek any assistance whatsoever. Go ahead and hit it, Chris. Top causes. Combat related is what everyone assumes. That's not the case, as you can tell by this chart here. This is percentage of people affected with these situations that have PTSD occurrences. And again, most of those are civilian related. You go ahead and hit it, Chris. All right, this goofy guy here, this is my uncle. He suffered with PTSD, although never diagnosed, from Vietnam. Multiple tours, had I believe it was 3 or 4 combat tours, and came back a completely different person. This is the person that I knew, the goofy character and everything when times were good. But he had all the textbook symptoms, everything you see here. You know, reliving the incident, staying away from, fireworks, those kind of things, anything that brought it back. Couldn't sleep. When he did sleep, he woke up, night tremors, all these kind of things. And he ended up committing suicide in '95 because of it. And that's just from, dealing with constant pressure of this stuff. Like I said, everything that we talked about in here he was going through at the time, it wasn't called PTSD. They just thought they were flashback and having weird outs. So go ahead and hit it, Chris. Yeah, the next slide should be talking about civilian PTSD. This is kind of the scariest one in my mind because it can happen to anybody. Like I've got here, any of your family members can be subject to this due to random acts of violence, any of these kind of things. Kidnappings, family assaults, and all the typical domestic issues. This is what I've dealt with in my personal life. Not myself, but multiple family members have dealt with this. That's kind of a scary one because there's nothing you can do to prevent this. Unlike combat related, you don't expect to run into those situations if you're not there. However, here, anybody walking down the street can become a victim of random violence. Good. Some of the assistance programs depend on who they're catering to. A lot of times with like the violence type, you'll get into where there's issues with if it's a violence by a man on a female, they're a lot more hesitant to deal with men, so they run into women counselors to make sure they help with that. Combat veterans being counseled by PTSD survivors, counselors, that can just understand their situations. Go ahead, Chris. And the veteran assistance. Like we know, VA is the leading authority on combat related. One of their programs, About Face, is it talks about how to turn these guys around. It lets them talk to people that have gone through this stuff, overcame it. And the good thing about About Face is that's a military term, so all of us guys know what that is. That's command to turn someone completely around. You got your guys there, spin them 180 degrees. That's what they're talking about. Someone's going down the wrong road, spin them around, get them back. Military One Source, another good place to go. They've got online counseling. They've got you can call in. They've got face-to-face, so those options are there. Go ahead, Chris. And civilian side, we've got RAIN, National Sexual Assault Hotline, and National Center for PTSD. These guys are they're there, nonprofits for anybody who needs help. We've got the contact numbers listed here for both of these guys. They've got a website set up. Good to go, Chris? And in conclusion, it's not what we thought. It's just a battlefield condition. It affects our loved ones. Again, 50% of people who suffer from PTSD never seek treatment. And that's all I've got. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
See you Tuesday.